Hello, everybody. How are we tonight? Glad to have you watching for Mind Body Bank Account episode 24. And I'm very lucky to have tonight on the show a woman who's doing some great things. She's transformed her life, and her mission is to transform the lives of other people as well. She'll be joining us in just a moment. Her name is Liz Streich. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, German, so I can't quite roll the tongue like I should. But Liz Streich, she's a radiant health coach at Liz Streich Fitness, where she focuses on mindset, nutrition, as well as fitness, because it's all encompassing, right? I mean, we need to understand what we put in our mouth. We need to have a positive mental attitude about our life and if we want to change it, right? And obviously the physical fitness along with that is what we need as well, right? So it's not just one-dimensional. Liz focuses on all three, and her mission in life is to help women lead healthy, fit, and vibrant lives. So Liz is ready to come on here. I just got to give her we're adding, and she'll be joining us in just a moment. And Liz is going to share with you what she's doing, but I know that she's also writing an excerpt in 365 Empowering Stories with Randy Goodman. And I'm sure, Liz, please share a little bit more about that and how people can get a hold of you, get a copy of the book, all that kind of good stuff. Liz, thanks a bunch for taking the time out with us tonight.
Sure. Well, thank you so much for arranging for me to come on your show today. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. So the book with Randy Goodman and Gordon So is called 365 Stories. So they're looking for more authors as well. And it's going to be a short story on living without limits. So
Great.
I'm going to talk a little bit about just a short story about my journey and how I started losing weight and why I lost weight, and some of the limiting beliefs from our past and childhood is going to be in that story as well. It's going to be on my website when it's available. I believe it's being launched next year, and it'll be on my website, which is lizstreich.com.
Great.
And that's how they can get hold of me, or on Facebook
awesome.
as well.
Liz, when we're done, post in the comments below. Just give us a link to your website if we're able when we wrap up here.
When
sure,
we wrap up?
sure.
Okay.
And I mean, if you're a multitasker, feel free, go ahead. But
I was going to, but then my screen went blank. So there you go. All right, I'll leave it.
Sounds
for now.
good.
Yeah.
So share with us briefly who you are. What are you doing? How did you begin on this path to want to help women change their lives through fitness, feeling better, all
through
that
fitness?
good stuff? Yeah.
Yep.
I think we're good. We just had a little hiccup.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all right. Weight loss, diets. I think we've all, at least 80% of the population at some point or time has, exactly, up and down the yo-yo dieting, whatever trend was out there, I've tried it. And I think everyone can relate to that. It probably, picture me about 100 pounds more than I am now. And yeah, I was well over 240 pounds at one point, close to 260. One pregnancy, gained 60 pounds, right? You lose 20, but you're still up 40. Then you get pregnant again, and you pack on the pounds again. You're up another 60, and next thing you know, you're well over 80 pounds. And life goes on, and you try, you lose, you gain, you lose, you gain. And there was 5 things, I believe, that helped me, that was a solution for me. And it's not in any specific order. It's going to work in a different order for everyone, because everyone is different. I keep getting messages here, and
that's okay. We can get through it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's fine. And I think one of the things you and I talked about too, that started it off was personal
Right.
development. I started reading mostly the Law of Attraction series and got really engrossed in understanding about the universe and law of
Mm-hmm.
attraction. And I realized I was attracting pounds. Nothing, right? So that was just a little humor on the law of
Right.
attraction. But anyways, so yeah, so that kind of started it, and I started recognizing I had limiting beliefs because I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, Liz, you're gonna have you've got to lose weight. You're gonna have a coronary or a stroke if you continue down this path. And I'm thinking, but I'm too
Mm-hmm.
young. Limiting belief number one. Then I was thinking to myself, well, I got used to being big. So I thought big was my new normal.
Right.
Never
Right.
mind the weight that I was before I got married,
Right.
right? So you get used to that normal. So you don't really think of being thin anymore or thin Lizzie or anything like that. So that's another, right? That's another limiting belief.
That
And
limiting
also
belief as
thinking
in
that
that
I was,
that this is it. This is you. You can't go
this is it.
back. This is baseline now. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. This is, I'm going to have to learn to live with this body for the next,
Right.
20, 30, 40, however long I'm going to live. That was in my early 50s, mid 50s. And then I was thinking that I really want to go to Europe and do a walking tour. But it's, how can I? I can barely walk 20 feet without excruciating pain in my
Right.
knees and my feet. So walking tours are going to be out. But I really want to go. So that was my motivating factor. And I thought about my kids. Do I really want to leave? What happens if I do have a coronary or a stroke? I mean, a limiting belief was that I was too young because I was only 56 at the time to have a coronary or a
Right.
stroke. But then when I heard my neighbor had one, I'm like, I think I need to rethink this. And I really want to go to Europe. And I don't want to leave my kids here. They were only 18 and 15 at the time. What if I what if I do have a stroke? It could be just a minor paralysis on my face, but what if it's half
Sure.
my body? Then what are the kids going to do? They have their life ahead of them. Do I really want them looking after me?
Right.
Definitely not. So that was another motivating factor. So personal development, started reading more books on mindset. You Are a Badass was the best book I ever read
Cool.
because it really talked about uniqueness. I don't know if you've heard of that book. I think
I've
more
heard.
of it's more of a girl's it's kind of like a chick flick. It's more of a
Yeah.
chick book, I
Yeah.
think, but it is good. I would highly recommend it for
Sure.
men as well. Started reading, You Are a Badass, The Compound Effect, all sorts of books. Joel Olson also wrote about The Slight Edge. And so I started thinking that it's mindset. So I started working on my mindset, recognizing that I had self-sabotage behaviors and not only the limiting beliefs, but the emotional triggers that I had when, I went, why was I going to the fridge to open the door, 10 o'clock at night to look at something to
Right.
eat, when I knew that was the worst time. I would pick up a glass of wine, and it started to be a glass of wine, just on weekends. Next thing I knew, I was finishing one or two bottles on weekend. Next thing I know, I was drinking a glass of wine every night, maybe two, right? So I was starting to become aware that I was afraid of becoming an
Mm-hmm.
alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you only binge drink, you can be an alcoholic. So it's kind of mindset, recognizing that you have these limiting beliefs and becoming aware of them is the first step to breaking it
Absolutely.
down.
Yeah.
The next thing the doctor also told me was, why don't you, because she said, well, I also had a heart condition, so I couldn't do cardio. If my heartbeat goes above 140, I have what's called long QT
Mm-hmm.
syndrome, and I can go into cardiac arrest, and that's it. So there's no
Wow.
symptom. So I
So that
knew,
makes it
yeah.
tough when you
So I
want
knew
to,
that
now here we go, you want to get more physically fit, you want to lose some pounds, but they say now you can't do cardio?
exactly. So I went into a deep depression because I had this condition, yet I'm supposed to lose weight and work out, but I can't.
Right.
Like it's like, ah,
Absolutely.
right? And so the doctor said, well, you could try and do it through losing weight just by eating the right foods, like cut out sugar and low
Hmm.
carbs. So I thought, well, all right, I'll give it a go. Within 2 weeks, I lost 10 pounds. And in about 3 months, I lost 25
Right.
pounds. And one day, I'm folding the laundry, and my daughter says, Mom, you have calves. And I'm like, what? I'm looking down at my legs and I'm like, oh my God, the muscle definition. So I go to the mirror, right? It was summer, so I had a t-shirt on and I pull up the sleeves and I'm like, oh my God, I've got muscle definition. Where did that come from? I've never had muscle definition in my
Hmm.
life. Like I always dreamed about it when I was a teenager, right? But never really had it. So I thought, there's got to be something I can do. So I joined the gym and started working out, hired a personal trainer, and he sort of taught me how to use weights and how to work out
Right.
properly. And so I got, for lack of a better word, not really addicted, but I started to notice how empowering lifting weights
So right.
was. So not only did,
Well,
yeah,
and
right? Have you done
well,
that yourself as
I'm
well?
not. I mean, I'm not gonna flex for you here. No, I need to get in the gym. Absolutely. There's a few extra loads of laundry on the old washboard here, but I think there's a lot of different beliefs when it comes to how to shed more pounds, and when we understand that muscle is a fat burning machine, and you don't always need a whole lot of cardio. You lift some weights, and those muscles will take care
Mm.
of some of the pounds, right?
That's what I was learning with the
Hmm.
personal trainer, but it became so expensive. So I thought, well, I have to somehow take this and do it at home because I can't afford personal training. I mean, it was great
Yep.
for short term, but it's not something that you can carry on. So one of my friends approached me and said, well, have you ever thought about becoming a personal trainer? And I said, well, I had been looking into it, but I really don't want to work for a
Hmm.
gym. I've left the corporate world already. I left because I was burned out, depressed, anxious. I was overweight. Um, you know, I, I thought I was overweight, and my brain was in a fog. I thought overweight was one thing, but your brain was in a fog as well. So once you start eating healthy, right, the brain fog kind of clears
Yes.
too. And so I said, but I don't want to work for a gym, and I really don't feel like going back to get my personal training certificate. It's hard to get clients and that sort of thing. And the clients and I can't be creative. That's one of the reasons I burned out at work was because they hire you to be creative, but when you are creative, you're not following the status
Hmm.
quo. So, right? So you get burned out
That's very true. Yeah.
because I'm doing things to help my clients, but I'm not, I'm not, I have to do it exact same way as my coworkers
Right.
doing it. And that was just craziness, right? And you have to run it by people and, you have to, you have to have facts and figures. And I just like following my intuition. Your intuition is the best GPS you've got,
Absolutely.
especially when
Yeah.
it comes to helping people. So that's why I decided to be an
And people can't fit
entrepreneur
in a
and do this
box,
on
so
my
it's
own.
hard when you have
I
individual clients to
know.
just check the boxes off. It just doesn't happen like that. You need to have
It's
that freedom to
crazy.
individualize the
Ex-
program, right?
Exactly. So, and that's why I burned out when I was working as an employment counselor. That's what I was doing before I retired about 4 years
Right.
ago from that. And because everybody that came to me to get their resume done or help them with interview skills, Yeah, I mean, there's a format that you do to doing a resume, but everybody's experience, in my opinion, was unique. They each came with, different backgrounds or different qualifications, experiences that they could transfer into another job. But they wanted me to ask the same questions as my
Right.
coworker. And I kept saying, that's ridiculous. Like, how can I probe and get deeper into the
And
person and
understand what kind
help
of
them?
value they can bring if you, yeah, if you can't, like you say, probe and prod in different ways. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why I thought I've got to do this on my own. I'm done with the corporate world. I want to be an entrepreneur because everyone that comes to me for personal development, for mindset, nutrition, fitness is going to get the support that they need. And those are the 5 solutions that I offer. They're going to get the support, but it's going to be individualized because everyone is an individual. We all come with baggage, emotional stuff,
Sure.
right? It's not the same.
Very true. Very true.
So yeah.
So the defining moment that, I mean, it was the doctor visit for you that really gave you the kick in the pants to say, hey, I got to make some big changes here.
Well, at first I kind of thought I'm like, no, because I'm too young. There's no way, right, that I'm going to have a coronary or a
Right.
stroke. But it was, I think the defining moment was more when I was thinking about my kids and what would happen if something did happen to me. And also wanting to go to Europe when I turned 60, which is in May, by the way, this year. And we're going to Hungary in August.
Nice.
So my goals, my dreams are
Bucket list,
coming to fruition.
one off.
Bucket list, exactly.
Good stuff.
One off the bucket
Good
list.
stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So how long have you been running your fitness program?
So for about a year
Okay,
now.
good stuff.
So what it is people, yeah. So what it is they'll people contact me or I contact them and we have a conversation. I try and find out where they are, where they want to be, what's going to help them fill that gap. If it's perhaps they need some mindset help at
Right.
first, because sometimes people, they're all gung ho and they want to get going on exercise, but they may need some mindset shifting, right? Because they have some limiting beliefs, they lack motivation. So we got to find out what's going to motivate them, what's going to get that burning
Right.
desire going to eat right and
Because we
fitness.
see people going to the gym, right? The January
Mm-hmm.
gym people, and then,
Exactly.
3 weeks later, it's over. So
That's
that's
right.
got to be the mindset part because everyone wants to be more
Mm-hmm.
healthy, but to get the mind in the right place and knowing your why. Like, I mean, everyone talks about the why. Most time, regardless of whether it's in business or relationship or health, why? Why are you doing it?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it needs to be strong too,
That,
right? Yours, you think about your children. What happens if, heaven forbid, something happens to you from a health perspective that doesn't allow you to be there for them, or now they need to take care of you? That's a pretty big why. So I can see how that would motivate you to stick to it. And
keep going.
yeah, right?
Yeah, and we see our parents age and using walkers and canes because they don't know what we know now about how important it is to eat right and
Yep,
exercise to increase mobility and maintain mobility as we age. Because
right.
we're all living longer, so we really need to take care of ourselves.
Sure.
And people even ask me now, when I tell them that I'm turning 60, that they
By the
don't
way, I
believe
never would have
me,
guessed
right?
60.
Because
Never. I was
yeah,
going to,
May
yeah.
8th, May
Good for
8th.
you. Good for you.
Yeah,
You look great.
yeah.
You look great.
So thank you. I feel
That's
great. I
awesome.
look great. I feel 30. I feel 30. And that's the other thing too is my mom has dementia and that's the big concern with long-term care. And I mean now the waiting lists are what 3 to 5 years.
Wow.
So I think it's really, really important for
Absolutely.
us to exercise and eating right really helps with our minds and our mindset in terms of Alzheimer's as well, eating the right foods, right?
Definitely.
And keeping our minds active with personal
Definitely.
development.
Hey, it's a muscle. I mean, you need to, feed it good things, work it out, and that way your mind continues to work the way that it should for you, right? I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, and what you were saying earlier, folks with the canes and walkers don't have quite the understanding of mobility that we do now. And jeepers, I mean, we have that understanding, but boy, oh boy, we have bigger TVs and more comfortable couches than ever before too. You know what I mean? And sometimes, yeah, I question myself why I'm getting up and going to the cupboard and in there for what reason? Like, why do I do this?
Yeah, start thinking about what are the thoughts even as you get up off the couch and you're heading to the cupboard. What's going through your mind? And that's
Salt
one of the
and vinegar
things
chips.
that
That's what's going through my mind.
right? Yeah,
but I tell you,
yeah.
And then I get guilty after. I do. I get.
And then you eat more probably because you feel guilty.
Only a few more handfuls. Just jam a few more handfuls in there and then wrap the bag up. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's and I was actually today when I was thinking about coming on with you, I was thinking I really need to start thinking about what is happening in my life and my mindset as I get up and go to the fridge when I know that I don't need to. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, one of the I run a workshop called Shape Your Mind and Body, which I just finished a round of, and it's going to be available again at the end of May. So
Great.
I'll let people know that as well. And they can get it off my website by the end of May. I'm redesigning my website, so it's going to be available there. And yeah, that's the first thing is becoming aware of, I get people to start keeping a journal about their thoughts, their emotions, what's going through your mind when you're reaching. Even, as you're getting up off the couch, what's that trigger? Mm-hmm. I swear sometimes when I'm watching TV, I'm more likely to snack out on popcorn or chips or wanting the junk food than if I'm not watching TV.
Do you see the commercials on TV nowadays? Holy jeepers. I'm telling you, out of every 20 commercials, 15 of them are for a food product. It's crazy.
Exactly. Yes. And I'm thinking that's what's driving us. So if maybe we're better off if we can PVR everything and just fast forward it. I don't know.
Hey, there you go.
Because I don't want to tell people, oh, stop watching TV.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't want to do that.
But subliminally, when that hamburger is there, and it's just a close-up, and that's...
Exactly.
Man, I tell you, there's a few times I want to jump in the car, but I don't. I'm not going anywhere.
Exactly. Go get a glass of water.
Exactly.
Get a glass of water.
Hey, and would you agree that if you're
yourself with something else?
Yeah, right. You just gotta break that moment, and do something.
Pattern.
Jump down and do 10 push-ups. Something.
There you go. Hey, I like that idea.
You know what? I do that sometimes when I'm trying to beat a negative habit. Just break it. 10 push-ups. Mm-hmm. Things change my mind. By the time I'm at 2 or 3, I'm thinking I'm gonna die. So obviously, I'm not thinking about it.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things I tell people is we got to rewire our stories. It's, so to be aware of the stories that we're telling ourselves so that we can rewire it. And it took a long time for us to develop those stories, so it's going to take time for us to rewire it. Right?
Definitely. Yeah. It's all about habits.
Look out for your push-ups. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I was for a short time posting some push-up routines that I was doing, but and you know what? I still do some, but honestly, it was a pain in the butt getting the videos online. That's my excuse for not posting all my push-up videos. I was trying to rip 50 off in a row, and see, my mindset's awesome. I still think I'm 19, but my body is just a little bit. Yeah, it's not quite. I was going to say it's not quite there yet, but it's beyond it. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, when I first started out, I couldn't even do a push-up. And I would use, how you get down on your knees to do a
Absolutely.
push-up. And now I'm doing like 10, 15 push-ups
Awesome.
easily. So but it's incremental. It's taken me 2 years to get here, right? It's not something that happened
Yep.
overnight. And it's that having that mindset to keep going, and you know that, and every time wow, I did better this time. So it kind of motivates you to keep going. I think sometimes it's like anything in life. We give up just as we're making
Absolutely.
progress.
I'm
Just
so glad you said that. So true. And I think sometimes we
right.
also judge our own
I'm just going to turn the
success.
light on.
Sometimes we judge our own success by what somebody else is doing as well. Right?
Yes,
And if
yes.
we see other people just killing it out there, and here's the thing too, folks, if you're
Mhm.
watching, and let's say you're looking to lose weight and get healthy, and just know that when we're on Facebook and we're typing in and we're sharing videos of health and wellness and fitness, your feed is going to get bombarded with health and wellness stuff. You're going to start seeing people who are, doing physical things that you could never think of. It's just, don't look at what other people are doing and judge your progress based on them. Because quite often we look at these dynamos out there who are doing these amazing things, and we can choose one of two ways. We can use that as a motivator, or sometimes we say, man, look at little old me. I can't even do 10 push-ups. How can I do 100 pull-ups? So just, you're on your own course, people. Just do your own thing and don't be focusing on
Exactly.
what others are doing. This is about you and your mission. So I just had to drop that out there.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm no, and I'm glad you did, because that's what I find about doing my workouts at home and pressing play on the videos, because the virtual personal trainers that are there are fantastic that way.
Right.
They do say, hey, we're going to do 30 push-ups here, and you do what you can.
Yes,
Eventually, you're going to get to where we are, but if you can do five,
absolutely.
great. Maybe next time when you press play on the video, you can do six. Maybe next time you can do 10 next week, right?
Exactly.
It's incremental. That's what I love about the programs that I have. There's over like 40 different programs and 600 workouts, and they're all like that. They're constantly telling you to check your form, make sure you're doing this, make
Right.
sure your knee's not going over your ankle, like all that kind of stuff. So that's what I felt I needed, because sometimes what happened with the personal trainer, I mean, it was great, but sometimes we'd start talking about the weekend, and even though I was doing you know
Sure.
what I mean? Like, was he really checking my form? Whereas I'm listening to the video, and they're constantly checking your form, and they're constantly giving you affirmations and motivational quotes and saying, I know you can do
It's
it. I
awesome.
know you can. I believe in you,
It's
right?
awesome.
So when you're doing your push-ups, you're going, oh, he believes in me, So it's very motivating, very uplifting, very inspiring,
Definitely. And
encouraging.
it's
So
touching your
that's why I
subconscious.
love doing
While
these.
you're doing these things, you are feeding your subconscious all that good stuff that we know is the direct link between, the infinite
Exactly.
intelligence and
Universe.
all that greatness that we want to attract, and the abundance that we want to attract is through the subconscious. So when you want to drop the pounds,
Exactly.
positive mental attitude, right?
Yeah, it's definitely
Yep.
mindset. So those are the five things that I focus on: personal development, mindset,
Yes.
nutrition. Um, there are meal plans, so it takes the guesswork. You don't have to worry about counting calories. You don't have to worry about points.
Now, nutrition, let me ask you.
Um,
When I'm
right?
going to my cupboard
Mm,
and my fridge and I know that I don't need to, and I'm cracking that open, once we start to eat real healthy foods, the good stuff, do you find that those cravings go away? Because the proper nutrition's in your body. You're not eating garbage calories and high sugar foods, and so you're not craving so much. Do you find that cravings come down when you're putting the high octane food in your body.
Absolutely, definitely. And one of the things I sometimes tell people, if you really, 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 really get in a pinch where you're really hungry for some reason, that tells me at night, like after 7 o'clock, that tells me that you haven't had enough during the
Right.
day. So you have to go back the next day and make sure that you're getting enough protein. And what I tell people too is if you're really, really hungry at night, crack a couple of eggs open, just the egg whites, make a couple of, egg white
Sure.
omelet for
Yeah.
yourself. As long as you're getting that
Yep.
protein into your system, if your craving is that bad, and then you won't crave the foods
Yeah.
anymore. Drink water.
We,
Yeah. But if you are getting cravings, that tells me, and I usually help, that's where the support comes in. I can help people, tell them that maybe, this is what you're lacking. And I give them a chart on, if you're craving sweet, then you probably need more broccoli in your diet, or you need more something else in your diet. So obviously there is something missing, and we can help you make sure that you're getting more of it tomorrow, right? So forget about today. Don't worry
yes.
about today. It's a scratch. We'll start again tomorrow. And that's where the support comes in too, because people in my group, once you register and you sign up with me, you join my Facebook group. And in that group, if you fall off, let's say you're not posting your workouts or your meals or whatever you want to post that day, and I see I haven't seen you for a couple of days, I'm going to message you and say, hey, I've missed you for a couple of days. Is everything
Awesome.
okay? And they'll say, no, I've fallen off. I succumbed to cravings. I've done this. So we kind of walk through what happened. Why did you,
You're an accountability
sometimes
partner as well.
stress.
So it's great.
Exactly.
People need someone in their corner sometimes, right? Just to
Hmm.
say, hey, that's why it's awesome when you do go to a gym to have a gym buddy. So you can't,
Yeah,
so you're like the gym buddy as well. So when you're not posting,
I'm the gym
yeah, push
buddy.
yourself up. Give someone
I'm,
a little kick in the pants and a hug.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I'm all for people if they want to go to a gym, you know, um, but if you fall off,
Yeah,
contact me,
yeah,
because maybe I can help you with your mindset. Maybe
definitely.
there's something there that's holding you back from going back to the gym. And it all boils down to goal setting too. Maybe you haven't set the right goals. Maybe they weren't
Right,
realistic. You didn't find out what that true why was for you,
right,
like you had mentioned in the beginning, right? What is it about? And motivation is really, it's not something external. Sometimes people say, oh, if I join a gym, then I'll be motivated to go. It's not the gym that's motivating you to go. It's that deep, something
definitely.
burning desire inside yourself,
Yep.
right? If you need to go to a gym because you want to be surrounded by people when you work out, great. But you also have to figure out what is that burning desire for you to make that change,
Yep.
to go to the gym,
Yep.
to go when it's like pouring rain and snow and late dark at night when you don't want to,
That's right.
right? So, yeah.
Boy, starting to reevaluate my
Anything else?
needs to get going too. I got a
We can
Yes. Well,
chat.
I got a young boy. He's 13 now, and he really wants to get
Mhm.
physically fit. I mean, so
That's great.
we're gonna start to get on the floor here a little bit. Once he can do a few push-ups, then I'll then we'll start to go a little harder. But I'm just glad that he wants to feel good about himself, and I don't know if it's maybe just that he's a young man wanting to feel a little
No, I think
tougher.
that's great. Yeah, and maybe he'll start eating healthier as well, and that'll help. Like maybe you can help each other that way,
We've been so lucky
right?
with our kids. Growing up,
Hmm.
my first boy, all he wanted was tofu, rice, and lima beans. Like, I mean, it was vegetables and fruits to no end. It was incredible. Now they've started to get a little more junk foody, but we've been pretty lucky with our kids.
Well,
So
they're going out with their friends and stuff too. Well,
I'm
if you
blaming it on
want,
them.
you could. I could. Yeah, there's are you guys going to go to the gym together, or are you guys going to work out at home together?
Well,
Or are
we
you
have
going to set a
we have an
goal
area
together?
here. We have an area here,
Hmm.
but we also have memberships. We've just been paying the gym a little bit too much lately without us showing up. You know what I mean? Man,
Yeah.
I bet you,
Yeah. See that?
I bet you if
I
we were to
know,
crack the
right?
books open at gyms, think of how much money they make from people who never walk through the doors.
I can imagine. Like that's why, yeah, they're just unbelievable. Yeah, but that's why people have to figure out if you're not using it, then figure out what you need to get back to using it. Why did you stop
Right.
going? It's not the
No,
gym's
and
fault.
it's all the
It's
mindset.
something,
It's all the
right?
mindset part.
Exactly.
It's all of it. Why are you starting?
Hmm.
What's going to keep you from quitting when you're just about to
Hmm.
get to that point where you make that breakthrough? You know, because there is that point too when
Hmm.
you start working out where it sucks. It's hard to drag yourself, and
Sometimes
then all of a
I'll
sudden you get to
agree.
this point where
I agree.
now I don't feel right if I'm not going, and that's a good feeling when you start loving it.
Well, for me, I wanted to develop six-pack abs and like really get some good muscle definition going. So I registered for a fitness bikini
Good for
contest
you.
in June. So
You're awesome.
I have to, I have to
Good for
maintain,
you.
and that's what's keeping me going because it's easy sometimes, even for me. Trust me, even as a coach, for me, sometimes it's like, oh, I don't feel like doing it today, right? But now I know, oh, I know that I've
Sure.
got people in my group that are counting on me
Absolutely.
to work out. Plus, I've got this competition in June
Coaches aren't
coming. So
superheroes.
I've never had,
You're just people. So
no,
you just understand that this is
yeah,
what we need to do to get back on track, right? So
yeah, yeah. I get off track too, trust me, you know. But what I find now is I bounce back a lot faster than I did before.
sure.
So maybe I'll notice that, well, now I'm really careful because, one little craving or one little, popcorn and I'm done for, right? Because June is just around the corner and I'm starting to get some really good abs. So I don't want
There
to
you
wreck
go. You
all the
got some
hard
awesome
work,
motivation
right?
and
So
another
exactly.
facet to the why.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so I think for most of us, I think we need to start. I would really like people to start thinking about getting older and what it is they want out of life. Do you want to be able to keep up with your grandkids?
Yes.
Are you going to be able to keep up with your I mean, are you huffing and puffing now when you're going up and down the stairs? Right? So if that's happening now, what's going to happen in 10 years when you start having grandkids or whenever you're going to have grandkids?
Yep.
That was the other challenge was I was picturing myself sitting on the couch and my kids having kids and I'm sitting there, and just ordering the grandkids around, and pointing fingers about where the blocks should go and because I wouldn't be able to get down on the ground. I thought that's not the kind of grandmother
That's
I
right.
want to be. So there's another motivating factor. So I really want people to think about that because do you really want to be in long-term care? Do you really want to be in a retirement home? What kind of life do you want to live? Do you want to live a healthy, vibrant life? And if you do, start working on your mindset, your nutrition, and your fitness now.
I like it. Great message. Liz, I really appreciate you coming on.
Sorry,
No, that's
pontificating.
awesome. But that's what people need. People need that someone to ask them those hard questions. Sometimes you need that. And when you dig deep inside, I think most people are lying to themselves if they say, no, I don't want to be healthy and no, I don't want to live longer. Everybody wants to be able to be here and be healthy and be able to play with their grandkids, so yeah.
Exactly.
I think what you're doing is
Not
awesome.
use mobile devices as we get older.
Definitely.
Thank
Yeah,
you. I
I
love
think you're
it.
extremely
I'm having
motivating. You're
fun.
inspiring. I mean, bikini contest at 60 years old. Awesome. I mean, it's killer, right? And
I
so
know.
did you ever think you'd be doing that
I'm a role
10 years
model for
ago?
my kids. No, No,
It's,
I thought, being 240 pounds was it, went down to 165. So, back to where I was when I got married,
yep.
right?
So
I
we
was
all can change
165
if
pounds.
we
So
have the
yes, we
right why, the
can.
right mindset, the right coaches, the right people around us. We can make those
Exactly.
changes.
Support.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yes.
Liz, thank you so much for taking the time out tonight with us.
Thank
Again,
you.
Liz Streich, Coach Liz, doing 365 stories with Randy Goodman, Gordon So. Check the links below, how to get a hold of her. Radiant Health Coach at Liz Streich Fitness. Thank you so much again, Liz, for spending the time. Keep inspiring people. I'm loving your videos and what
Thank
you're
you.
doing. So I'm sure others will too. So keep it up. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me to come on your show today. Thank you.
Awesome. You take care. Have a
Bye,
great
Mike.
night. All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
Well, guys, that was episode 24 with Liz Streich. So I hope you got something out of that. She's extremely, extremely motivating. 60 years old, bikini contest, dropped the better part of 100 pounds. I mean, that's incredible. So check her out. Check the links below on the video. If you need someone in your corner, get a hold of her. She's doing great things. If you want to be a guest in 365 Empowering Stories, also follow the link. I believe Liz is going to post a link. If not, I will. Folks, have yourself a great day. And remember, just keep getting better, right? Keep looking for those moments where you can grow yourself mentally, financially, with the body. When I say grow with the body, I mean in the good way. Hopefully not this way too much, right? So guys, that's it. Episode 24. Keep watching. I really appreciate everyone chiming in. And if you guys get any value out of this, share the video. Somebody else will as well. Take care, everyone. Have yourselves a great night, and we'll see you soon.